Well, hi guys, welcome to this Money Control live stream Thursday morning. I'm Nandita Khemka right here in the Money Control studios. Over the next 40 minutes, we'll be talking about the cues for trade, all the stocks to watch out for, and of course, all your stock related queries will be taken up with our expert on the show. But of course, looking at the setup this morning, not a very pretty picture given the fact that Nvidia reported a good set of numbers, but they failed to enthuse street because expectations were quite lofty. Because of that, of course, US futures are trading in the red and Asian markets also assessing the earnings and, trading in the red in early trade. Nikkei, Kospi, all of them in the red, and even the GIF Nifty is hinting at a negative start, but it is above that 25,000 mark nevertheless. Reliance Industries, that will be the big stock to watch out for today. Quite a few developments around this company. There will be the 47th AGM today, 2 p.m. onwards, and we have CCI, the Competition Commission, giving its green signal to its merger, to the merger of its media assets with Disney. Lots of other stocks, block deals happening today. We'll be talking about that, and we'll of course be taking up your queries. So keep them coming in on a live feed, and we'll try and take them up. But before we do all that, let's take a look at the top headlines at this hour. US market clocked in a losing session ahead of earnings from Nvidia. Earnings failed to impress as the chip maker provides no commentary on its next generation chips, even as revenue more than doubles. Asian markets also trade with losses, while the GIF Nifty is suggesting a lower start for the Indian market. Crude prices fall for the second straight day, with Brent slipping below the $79 a barrel mark. Gold prices consolidate around $2,550 as the greenback strengthens amid month-end buying. Competition regulator approves the merger between Reliance Industries and Disney India's media assets. The $8.5 billion deal has been cleared, subject to some voluntary modifications. And Reliance Industries will hold its 47th annual general meeting 2 p.m. onwards this afternoon. Investors await concrete plans for the Jio and retail IPOs. Updates on new energy projects and Jio's 5G monetization will be keenly watched out for. Well, before bringing our guest on board, let me just take you through the cues for trade or how the setup is looking like this morning. As I mentioned, the GIF Nifty is, trading in the negative zone. There could be some slight cuts. I don't think there'll be a big cut, going by what the GIF Nifty is suggesting. 25,000 is likely to hold on the screens. Aside of that, yesterday, it was a good day. Of course, it was a wonderful day for that matter when it comes to benchmarks, because we did, cross that 25,100 mark for the first time ever. Nifty, I beg your pardon, clocked its 10th straight day of gains. This is the longest winning streak that the index has seen in the last 4 years. Whether or not we could extend it to 11th day or not, that's something we'll be watching out for, because, we have seen all the dips getting bought into. So if there is a dip, there are chances that we could see some bit of buying emerge as well. Intraday gains were kind of given up, yesterday. Although we did hit the fresh high, we ended around the flat line for the index. The Nifty obviously posted record close, but the gains kind of fizzled out in the last half an hour of trade. Aside of that, in fact, in terms of sectors, IT was the top gainer, 1.5% gains coming in on the IT index yesterday, of course, driven by stocks like LTI Mindtree, which gained somewhere around 7% or thereabouts. Pharma index was also upbeat, sweet gains, even the pharma pack saw yesterday. So both the Nifty, IT and pharma indices also managed to hit record highs yesterday. IT stocks along with IndusInd Bank contributed the most to Nifty's gains yesterday. And in terms of FNOQs, the put call ratio slipped to 1.21 vis-a-vis 1.22 in the previous session. In F&O ban, you have a couple of stocks making entry into the list, Bandhan Bank as well as Granules India. Still in ban, Hindustan Copper as well as India Cements, and some of the counters that have exited the F&O ban are the likes of Balrampur Chini as well as Birla Soft. In terms of fund flows, we saw FII buying emerge day before yesterday, but once again yesterday, they turned sellers, net sellers, sold shares worth 1,300 crore rupees in the cash market. On the other hand, you have domestic buying coming in, worth somewhere around 440 crore rupees or thereabouts in the cash markets. Aside of that, before bringing on board our, guests for today, let's talk about the big deal that has got the clearance from the Competition Commission of India. CCI has cleared the RIL-Disney India deal. Reliance Industries, Viacom 18 and Disney India will form a joint venture. Now, Viacom 18 will be merged into Star India, and Reliance Industries will invest 11,500 crore rupees in the JV. The joint venture will be controlled by Reliance Industries, and it will own somewhere around 16.5% stake. 46.8% stake in the joint venture will be owned by Viacom 18 and 36.8% by Disney. Now, Nita Ambani will be the chairperson of the joint venture, and Uday Shankar will be the vice chairperson. Transaction is expected to be completed in the last quarter of calendar year 2024 or first quarter of calendar year 2025. The JV values Disney India at around $3.5 billion versus earlier estimate of $15 billion. Now, the CCI approval to Reliance and Disney deal is subject to compliance of voluntary modifications. The other stock that's in focus this morning is IndiGo, because Rakesh Gangwal was looking to sell stake worth around $850 million or thereabouts, but now sources suggest that Gangwal in fact has upped the block deal size, and he may be looking to sell his entire stake of 5.8% or thereabouts. So the block deal size has been upped to over I think 10,000 crore rupees, if I am not mistaken. It has been jacked up to 10,300 crore rupees vis-a-vis 6,750 crore rupees earlier. This is of course according to sources. Indicative price is seen at 4,593 rupees per share, which indicates a discount of 5.5% to yesterday's close price. Of course, as we wait for the opening bell, let's also talk about a PB Fintech. Given the fact that there has been a block deal in the counter, and the block deal was supposed to happen, and it has already happened. So that's something that that stock, of course, will be reacting to that. 1.7% equity has exchanged hands in the block deal window. Aside of that, let's talk about some of the other stocks that will be in focus. Aside of these two block deals, Vedanta is one company or stock that will be in focus, given the fact that it will be considering its third interim dividend for FY25 on the 2nd of September. Paytm, this stock will be definitely in focus, given the fact that there's been some bit of reprieve, right? It has got the finance ministry's nod for downstream investment into Paytm payment services. Now, with this approval, Paytm payment services will resubmit payment aggregator application. Now, it will continue to provide online payment aggregation services to existing partners. But now this is being seen as a positive move, given the fact that it gives some kind of relief to the company in terms of regulatory overhang. So that's one stock that will be in focus. We are just about, I think, 30 odd seconds away from the markets, from the opening bell. Expected to be a flat start. In the pre-open, I can see the Nifty is barely in the red. And the Sensex, managing to, in fact, hold on into the green, very marginally so. But of course, we have the first ticks coming in now. It is a very quiet start. As we speak, the Nifty is down just about 30 odd points, holding on to that 25,000 mark. The Sensex also, very flat, but down about 60 points or thereabouts. Mid-cap index, although, hinting at some bit of green, but I think it's already given up that that marginal gaining streak that we were witnessing just a few moments back. So, of course, the texture is tilted towards the downside today, in tandem with global cues. Let's also pull up some of the sectors and see which sector is outperforming today. In terms of sectoral movers, yesterday we saw IT pack and pharma pack emerging as the top gainers. Today, most of the sectors are trading in the red. all of the sectors rather. If you look at the auto pack, banking of course has been an underperformer, not being able to sustain the intermittent gains that the index manages to clock from time to time. Autos are down, bank index also in the red. You have IT pack also after yesterday's gains, seeing some bit of profit taking. However, the pharma pack is just about clutching on to slim gains at the current juncture. Realty pack is also in the red. India VIX has cooled off quite a bit, 8% down on the India VIX index, below the 13 level. But on that note, let's see the individual movers then. Just want to see what Reliance Industries is doing at the current juncture. It's marginally in the green, 0.2% kind of gains coming in on this particular counter. This stock will be in focus today, of course, in the wake of the CCI nod to its merger with Disney India, merger of media assets, and of course the AGM today, that will be crucial to watch out for. Wipro is extending its gains. Apollo Hospitals, Cipla, BPCL, some of the tech names like Tech Mahindra continue to gain. You have Bharti Airtel, Tata Motors, Bajaj Finserv. Some of the names, consumption names have also, are trying to make a comeback today. So ITC, Britannia, these have been laggards of the last two sessions, but today managing to stage some bit of a comeback. In terms of losers, Hindalco, M&M, Ultratech Cement, HDFC Life, Maruti, ONGC, HCL Tech are some of the names that are out of favor. So all in all, it's a pretty flat open, but with a negative undertone, and most of the sectors trading in the red. Pharma, however, is trying to hold its head above the water. But in terms of movers as well, I've already pointed out it's some of the tech names that continue to do well, and also the pharma names, and FMCG looking to make a comeback. But let's touch base with our guests then. Joining me is Jay Thakkar of ICICI Securities. Jay, great to have you on the show. Yesterday we managed to hit a fresh record. We managed to cross that 25,100 mark on the upside. That hurdle that was acting as a resistance till now, that was crossed. But today, in keeping with the global texture, we have seen a negative start. Do you think the base of, the base for the Nifty goes up here on 25,000? Do you think that will act as a crucial support now going forward?
First of all, very good morning to you. And see, as far as the global markets are concerned, the overall trend is positive out there in the short term. And I think there can be some profit booking at the high levels definitely out there as well, because the overall markets, if you see maybe global or local, they have bounced back quite sharply after whatever happened with the yen trade sell-off. So, considering other geopolitical tensions, they are discounted. What's market discounting is the rate cut going forward, and markets have bounced back quite sharply. So I think that, Nandita, for at least in the short term, the trend is likely to be positive. We have seen high top, high bottom getting formed on the weekly charts as well. We're going to see how the rollover happens today. I'm expecting it to be positive. And we don't even see much of FII, long or short positions as well. They're quite neutral right now, 50 to 60% long. So in the near term, I think that whatever dip comes in the short term should be utilized as a buying opportunity, because overall trend in the short term, remains intact as positive. As far as today's expiry, 1-3 expiry is concerned, I mean, 25,000 is the very, very crucial support. And that is where we have seen more than a crore shares on put option at 25,000 strikes. So that should act as an intraday support. And below those levels, if you see that 20,000, that too will act as a very crucial support. So right now, index is trading above its VWAP, above the crucial 24,900, 25,000 range. So till this range is not broken on the downside, I think that this dip should be utilized as a buying opportunity. And going forward, Nandita, I think that now, since Nifty has formed a new lifetime high above, in yesterday's trading session, so overall trend seems to be positive.
Okay, overall trend seems to be positive, and you could look at buying the dips. But what about the Nifty Bank Index? It has
Yeah.
seen intermittent bouts of gains, but it has managed to really sustain, any kind of bounce back that it has seen. Yesterday as well, came under pressure. Today as well, although ICICI Bank did provide some support day before yesterday. But here on, how's the setup looking like? Is it expected to be volatile sideways, or do you think it could, or it has the potential to stage a breakout?
See, we are already at 25,000 levels, and we have seen sectors like FMCG, pharma, IT, mainly the defensives, supporting Nifty quite much, and there are other few sectors as well which have been performing quite well. But then it's just the BFSI segment, may not even insurance, banking and financials. These are the two sectors which are having good amount of weightage on the index on Nifty, and these have not performed. I mean, they have yet not taken off their lifetime highs, whereas Nifty and many other indices have. I mean, if you see the broader markets, mid cap and small cap indices continue to do well and form higher highs and new lifetime highs there as well. So overall sentiment to the breadth is positive. It's just the sectoral rotation which we have seen the underperformance on the bank Nifty, which has come out, the financials which has come. But then, Nandita, this week when we had this monthly expiry for the Nifty, we saw the NBFCs coming back quite sharply. I mean, you see the names like Bajaj Finance or Bajaj Finserv, the RECs and PFCs of the world, these are doing quite well. So I think that banking too after this consolidation should resume, and because that is the one sector which can really help index now to move towards 26,000 levels. So underperformance, if at all going forward, is there in the financials, then it will be difficult for the index as well. I mean, the Nifty as well to move higher. So yes, on an immediate basis, 51,000. I mean, that is where one can watch out for as an immediate support, and below those levels, I believe that 50,500 to 50,000 is a very crucial support going forward in the short term. So till this range is held, there is a very high possibility of Nifty bank or the financials, bouncing back from the current levels. NBFCs have already shown that reversal in day before yesterday's session wherein we had from Nifty expiry. I am expecting that once this Bank Nifty's monthly expiry is gone now yesterday, so now it should come back as well.
Okay, that's the view then on the Nifty Bank Index. But before we proceed and take some queries, I want to talk to you about the stocks that are making headlines this morning, Jay. IndiGo being one of them. There's been a block deal in the counter. Earlier promoters were looking at selling stake, but sources suggest that they had upped the size of the block deal, which is why we saw a 6% stake exchanging hands on the bourses, and the block deal size has been up to somewhere around 11,000 crore rupees or thereabouts. The stock has seen good traction in the last week or so. Even if you see the last 3-month chart, you've seen a 20-25% kind of an up move. Any level in particular that you'll be watching out for on IndiGo, given the fact that it's not very far from its 52-week highs?
Well, I would say, Nandita, that this stock has been performing quite. I mean, this is one of the stock which has been very much profitable as far as the aviation industry is concerned. In the past, we have seen investors or the traders have not made much money in this sector, but specifically, Interglobe Aviation is concerned, this stock has delivered that consistent returns. And since 2021-22, the trend has been very sharp on the way up, and it still continues to be. I mean, the exit or maybe the stake sale of promoter is not affecting the stock much. In fact, that even happens much, and they are left with less of the stake, then it might even continue to perform higher. On an immediate basis, I believe that now 4,500. I mean, that's the level to watch out for on Interglobe Aviation. I mean, till those levels are held, the overall trend remains intact. That's positive, and there is good long build-up also seen in this stock since past couple of trading weeks. So on the upside, I believe that it's inching towards 5,000 levels. That is where we have a short-term hurdle. So 5,000 is the level if someone is looking out to book short-term profits, and if it manages to take off those levels as well, then it would enter into a good upward fresh range for the stock. So I'm bullish on the stock still until unless 4,500 levels are held.
Okay, bullish on IndiGo. The other stock, that's in focus is Paytm. 2.5% uptick right now, but the stock has seen very good, comeback, right? In the last 3 months, I think it's recovered some 60% from lows. Of course, there is positive news flow that Paytm Payment Services will resubmit payment aggregator application. Brokerages have said that,
Yeah.
this removes, some bit of regulatory overhang. But at the current juncture, it's somewhere around 550 or thereabouts. Should one look at levels of 650 and play this stock? Is it a positional play now, or do you think trade, treat it as a trading play and wait for news flow to come in and then act?
It's definitely, very much linked to a lot of news flows in the short term as well. And also other thing is that we don't have much of enough of derivatives data because it's not there in the F&O segment. I mean, I generally track those stocks which are there in the F&O segment, wherein we get some good idea from the derivatives data as well as in where the long or short buildup is happening, so that we can have that good technical plus derivatives view on the stock for the short term. But then looking just plainly on the technical charts, since it's not there in the F&O, then I believe that whatever rally which we have seen Nandita, has come on back of some news, of course. The sell-off was also had happened back on news, and we are seeing some bounce back as well. Short-term indicators have gone into the sell mode now after reaching to a short-term overbought zone. So I think that I mean, purely looking technically, then short term there can be some a correction in the stock unless 600 levels are not taken off. It can consolidate either in 600 to 500 range. But it's not that compelling chart for me that for the long term, I would say that medium to long term trend is that positive that it's a must have kind of a stock in the portfolio, and it's just that a bounce back that is happening in the stock. So there are many better stocks which have better technical setups as compared to Paytm.
Okay, there are many charts which have better technical setup, aside of Paytm. But let's talk about the power financiers as well. UBS has initiated buy calls on PFC and REC, target price at 670 and 720, respectively. The brokerage believes that strong growth is underpinned by shift to renewables and infrastructure. And key growth support is coming from energy transition as well as infrastructure financing. These two stocks, have seen a phenomenal run, since the start of the year. Even if you look at the 6 month returns, obviously in the last 1 month or so, it has been a consolidation phase for these two companies. But at this juncture, coming out of the buy call, would the risk reward be justified, or do you think more, correction needs to be seen before somebody can think of entering into these stocks?
Well, see, of course, fundamentally these stocks are really good from the medium to long term point of view. If you check, then I think that the current valuations as well. I mean, one can definitely look at it. From the short term point of view, I would say that these stocks have reached to the upper end of the range. Since July, which July mid or July second week, I would say, both of these stocks had gone into a sideways consolidating mode. The upper end of the range for REC is around 650, and as that for PFC, it's around the levels of 500 and 60. So it's 560 and 650 respectively for PFC and REC. I mean, this upper end of the range, if taken off, then you can see further, 20% of more. I mean, they have weightage in the mid-cap select Nifty as well, the index which is there in the F&O as well. So they have been contributing there as well. And I think that they have reached the upper end of the range. So the risk reward for the short term would be only about 650 on REC and 560 on PFC. In order to have a further momentum. But as far as the long term fundamentals are concerned, I mean, these stocks are still looking better.
Okay, that's the view on power financiers. Let's then shift focus to some of the viewer queries that are trickling in this morning. Let's start with some of these tech names, because yesterday we saw very good traction in the technology names like LTI Mindtree. Kishore wants to know your thoughts on LTI Mindtree at current levels. Yesterday there was a 7% up move. Today, some bit of cool off, almost a percent lower on this particular chart. But post the rally, would you look at LTI Mindtree?
Absolutely. I mean, this is one stock, Nandita, which has been consolidating since 2021. I mean, I would say the back end of 21, so it's November, December. So you can say that it's almost now near to 3 years. We've seen this consolidation coming in ATM inventory. I mean, the stock has made a lifetime high of around 7,500 approximately, and uh, this range low is around 2,700. So it's almost 50% correction from the high levels. Almost. Now, this consolidation is likely to break on the upside. Reason that we have seen a good long build-up coming in the entire Nifty IT pack. I mean, we will be the large cap stocks like TCS and Infosys definitely are very in a uptrend. We've seen good long additions there, and I'm expecting good rollovers as well. Going forward because Nifty IT has finally taken off from its consolidating range, so I'm expecting a good breakout there as well. I think that LTI Mindtree going forward is likely to head towards the levels of 6,500 in the short term. And if it managed to surpass those levels, then it can reach towards the upper end of the range of 7,500 as well.
Okay, since we are talking about IT stocks, I want to get in your thoughts on a couple of more mid-cap stocks, right? First one is Sonata Software. It has won a multi-million-dollar deal from a US healthcare company. We are seeing the stock reaction as well, and we have a query also coming in on this particular stock from K Naga. He wants to know your thoughts on this stock. His buy price is 630 rupees. He wants to know whether he should hold on with a 6-month view. What would you advise?
Sorry, I didn't get the stock. Can repeat.
Okay, the name of the stock is Sonata Software.
And LD, I mean, so Cyan, these are the stocks which are, which were, definitely a very good outperformance as far as the Medicap IT names are concerned. They have been consolidating now, but the overall medium to long term trend is positive. So I think that Sonata Software has a very good support in the range of additionally. And
Okay, so there is another. So I think there's some issue with the network which we are looking to resolve. Jay, we'll come back to you once we fix your audio issues. But on that note, let's take a look at where we are heading at the current juncture. Extremely flat with the Sensex, attempting to get back into the green, but that's really not happening at the current juncture. We are seeing red across the screen, but the Nifty Bank Index has managed to come off its opening lows and trying to edge back into the green territory. But some of the movers on the index, just let me take you through them. Cipla, that's the top gainer. Aside of that, Bajaj Auto, Shriram Finance, Hero Motor, some of the two-wheeler names are doing well. FMCG as a pocket, some of the names are among the gainers today on the index. So the likes of Britannia, Hindustan Unilever, these are some of the Nestle India, of course. That's also one counter that has edged back into the green today. Yesterday and day before, both the all these stocks were under some bit of pressure. But on the flip side, some of the metal names like Hindalco not doing all that well. LTI Mindtree seeing some bit of cool off after 7% gain yesterday. Ultratech Cement is among the losers, and so is Grasim. So the cement pack as a whole under pressure. Even the metal pack, the names like Hindalco, Tata Steel, JSW Steel, these are some of the counters that are not doing all that well. ONGC is in the red, so is Power Grid, four-wheelers like Maruti are in the red, and Reliance Industries has slipped in marginally into the red ahead of the 47th AGM that starts at 2 p.m. Of course, we will get you live coverage on that as well, with Chairman Mukesh Ambani's speech at the AGM. Aside of that, I want to just point out what some of the mid-cap names are doing at the current juncture. You have stocks like Concord Biotech. This stock is the top gainer on the Nifty 500 index. That's up somewhere around 8% or thereabouts. You have some of these network 18 group companies doing well. VIP Industries is one stock that's that's doing well, packing a punch, so to say, in trade today. KAC International, Raymond, Honasa Consumer, Software, of course, on the back of winning a multi-million-dollar deal from a US pharma giant, and that stock is among the gainers. Side of that, on the flip side, you have PNG. This stock is the top loser on the Nifty 500 index. Yesterday, came out with its numbers. Margins have literally halved on a YY basis, and the stock clearly reacting to that. CDSL, that's another one that's down 3%. Hindustan Zinc, down. Tata Elxsi, yesterday Kotak had reiterated its sell call on the counter yesterday as well. It was among the top laggards on the Nifty 500 index today, extending losses, almost 3% cut coming in there. Aside of that, Tanla Platforms, Suzlon, Adani Energy, Century Plyboard, these are some of the laggards on the Nifty 500 index. But aside of that, just want to check if we managed to re-establish our connection with Jay. Jay, are you there? Can you hear me? Okay, I think we seem to have snapped the connection with Jay, but before I wrap up for the day, just want to see what a lemon tree is doing at the current juncture. The stock is in news, given the fact that it has signed an agreement for a 72-room property in Ujjain, Madhya Pradesh, and the property will be managed by its arm Carnation Hotels. Now, this stock is gaining in trade. No big gains coming in, but a 2% uptick as we speak. But I think with that, we've come to the end of this edition of Opening Bell. Just want to apologize to our viewers because of some technical issues. We couldn't really take up most of your queries, but don't worry, you can resend your queries tomorrow. We'll try and take them up. But today, there seems to have been some kind of a technical setup, technical issue with our guest. So leaving the markets in the green, because markets have managed to edge back slightly into the green. So the Nifty is at 25,061, in the Sensex also trading in the green, and so is the Bank Nifty. And of course, it's the monthly expiry today. Rollover data, as Jay had pointed out, is something that should be closely watched. But with that completely timed out, of course, tune in to Money Control at 2 p.m. again for the live coverage on Reliance's 47th AGM. We'll be live with that. We'll get you extensive coverage on that as well. But for now, it's a goodbye from me. Have a great trading day and see you on the other side.